no longer saving or investing my money into my Roth IRA. My official job offer, $20,000 sign-on bonus, a large windfall for graduating from college. Hi, my name is Mia. Welcome to Scrubs and Savings. I'm a 21-year-old new grad nurse documenting my personal and financial journey here on YouTube. And today we are going to do my May money reset, where we take a look at my April finances, including my income, expenses, savings, investments, and updates on my debt payoff journey, as well as look ahead to the month of May. And it was actually payday on Thursday, so I have some money to budget. So in the month of April, my net income was $2,990.43. I received $5.01 from Apple Cashback, $411 from my state tax refund, $803.93 from my hospital job, $3.82 from my Ally High Yield Savings account, $300 from Key Bank for a bank bonus, $280 from my parents' allowance, $600.35 from my nursing school, and $586.32 from my hospital job. So April was my highest income month so far, and I definitely made progress on a lot of my goals. So for my spending, I spent a total of $1,950.18, which also makes April my highest spend month, but $860 of that was towards my extra car loan payment so that I can pay it off within the next couple of months. And then for treating people with kindness, I spent $352.93. I spent $195.72 on gifts. It was my mom's birthday in the month of April, and my partner's birthday is this month, so I started buying all of his gifts. And then I did my normal $152.21 of giving, and then I gave $5 to support a local high school's arts department. Then for my Joyful Life category, I spent $313.25, which is the highest I've ever spent in that category as well, and that is because I spent $211.98 to finally purchase Final Cut Pro. I did get the student discount for it because I was a college student, so it was $199 plus tax, and then I had my normal Epidemic Sound subscription, and then I spent $79.29 on eating out. So I did a lot of eating out. I went to a cafe with a friend. Unfortunately, I spent $3.17 on hospital pizza. I picked up some popcorn and dip from Trader Joe's for a movie night. I spent $42 on a delicious Italian dinner, and then $18.80 on an appetizer for P.F. Chang's, which was totally not worth it, but now I know. And then this little sliver right here, I spent $3.99 to rent Little Women from YouTube. I finally finished Little Women, the book, and I watched the 2019 version of Little Women, and it was so wonderful, and I'm so glad that I finally got to watch it because I'm one of those people who wants to read the book before I watch the movie, so then I can get a pretty good comparison of both. And then for my administrative category, this is also the most I've ever spent in this category, but it was because I had to pay federal taxes, which was $117, and then I had to spend $25 for filing with TurboTax, And then I had my normal $14.99 for my gym membership and $2.99 for iCloud. And then I spent $56.52 on a date with my partner. We got breakfast, we went out for coffee, and I had to pay for parking, which was a little more expensive than I was expecting, but of course, I enjoy spending quality time with my partner, which we haven't been able to do since we've been in such a busy season in because we finished up our last semester of college. And then for my savings, I saved a total of 1,500, nope, I saved a total of $1,301.70. I saved $70 for my apartment fund, $50 for Christmas, $849, and for my income replacement fund. And then I saved some extra money for our Tennessee trip because we thought we might have to get a rental car because the car that we were planning on taking had some issues, but we actually found out yesterday that we don't need a rental car, which is such a relief because I had to steal money from my apartment fund to be able to save up money for the rental car that we may have had to get for the trip. And I invested $207.50 in my Roth IRA. Then for my annual financial goals, my first goal is to make $40,000 in gross income this year, and I definitely made quite a lot of progress in the month of April. I made $30,290.20, and this is everything that I received for the month of April, and a huge chunk of it was from the tax refund as well as my bank bonus. And then for my Roth IRA, I have invested $1,000 in it so far. And then if you haven't been watching my biweekly budgeting videos, I actually am no longer saving or investing my money into my Roth IRA because my parents have put me in a very privileged position in which I can use the college fund that they saved for me in my 529 plan to roll over money into my Roth IRA. So we will be rolling over $6,000 from my college savings into my Roth IRA to max it out for 2025, and I will continue rolling over money from my college plan into my Roth IRA until we hit the $35,000 maximum rollover, which won't be for another 5 years or so. And then for my apartment fund, I added $70, so we're currently at $70 in the emergency fund, or I was at the end of April. So for my gross income goal, I'm at 21% of the way. For my Roth IRA, I'm at 14.29%, but we will reach that goal in the month of May. I am at a negative percentage of the way to my apartment fund goal because I took out money from the fund in February to help me pay off my car loan debt, but we will slowly but surely continue funding my apartment fund. And then for my emergency fund, again, I took money from it in February to help me pay off my car loan, and then for my net worth, I'm actually not going to reveal it in this monthly money reset video because I would like to a 1 year update for my how much I have saved and invested at 20 years old video that I made in the middle of May of last year, and I thought it would be fun to compare where I was at last year and how much progress I have made within just a year. And then as for my goal to be debt free by the end of this year, I only have $4,446.86 left remaining on my car loan, and if the numbers adding and if you've been watching my videos and the numbers aren't adding up in regards to my car loan, I've actually been calculating how much is left incorrectly in YNAB because I recently checked my credit report. The loan balance was much lower than I thought it was, so I updated it. I updated the loan balance in YNAB to be the same as it is in Credit Karma, so that's a lovely surprise. And then I love looking at the 50-30-20 split. So here I spend I put $860 towards debt. I spent $882.68 on wants. I saved $1,404.40, and then I invested $267.97, so that is the $207.50 towards my Roth IRA, and then the $60.40 was to my 403b. And I'm kind of debating on whether or not I should put the $6,000 that is going to be rolled over from my 529 plan in my how I'm tracking my investing, because it isn't really the money that I put towards it, but I still want it reflected in my reports for this year because that is an intentional choice that I made, because I could totally just keep the money in my 529 plan and let it grow, but instead I'm moving it towards my retirement. So let me know how you would track that $6,000 rollover in your budget. Would you count it as your investment or just keep track of it in your accounts and not count it as your accomplishment? Because I feel like that is more of an accomplishment on my parents' part because they saved so much money for me for college, but I didn't end up using it. I really don't know. I feel like that is going to be a decision that I make towards the end of May. So, looking at the overall picture of this year, I have put 50% of my money towards debts, 22.5% towards wants, 18.4% towards savings, and 9% towards investments. And again, I won't be going over my April net worth in this video because I'll do a net worth update in mid-May. And then I recently made a little Notion page for my money reflections. So it has my money mantra at the top: to spend joyfully, save intentionally, and give generously. I have a little section here with my why because I want to remember why I'm sacrificing a little bit of my money today to build my future. And I feel like whenever I want to have an impulse purchase, I can just look at my why and see the bigger picture of the financial decisions I've been making. And then I have my little long-term dreams right here, which I can look at. And then I have my little 5-year money plan right here, but I plan on going over my plan in my 2025 mid-year budget reset. And then I have a little section here of what I want my dream rich life to look like, which I also kind of want to go over in my mid-year budget reset. But then for the month of April, I have little questions I can ask myself towards that at the end of the month to see if I'm aligning my spending with my goals and my values. So the questions are kind of based off of my money mantra. So for spending intentionally, so the first question is, did my spending this month reflect what I truly value and enjoy? And it definitely did. I really enjoy gift giving and celebrating with my loved ones, which was a big expense for me this month. I really enjoy quality time with friends and I love trying new foods, so I definitely did that with my eating out category, and I definitely have been wanting to increase how much I'm spending on dates with my partner, and I did do that this month. And then, was I mindful about my spending? And I think the question will tend to be yes, but I still want to check in and see if I'm doing that. And then, saving aspirationally, did I make meaningful progress towards my short term and long term goals? Which I definitely did, because I was able to put money towards travel and money towards retirement and my emergency fund in the month of April. And what future dreams and experiences am I saving for? So, of course, I saved for my big long term dream of retiring early this month, and I put money towards the travel that I'm going to have this month. For giving generously, was I intentional and joyful in how I gave to others this month? And I definitely was. I love gift giving, and I was able to do that very joyfully for my mom and my partner. And I really enjoyed the opportunity to give to the arts this month. And then, did I give in ways that aligned with my values and made an impact I feel good about? And I definitely did. For awareness and self growth, what money habits and emotions this month surfaced that I want to explore and improve? I did feel a little guilty about spending $211.98 on Final Cut Pro, and I'm really trying to not feel guilty about spending on money on myself and what I enjoy. And I think that's going to be something that I will continually have to work on. I would consider myself a saver, but I want to balance the joy that I get from saving to my spending as well. I think my issue is that I feel guilty for spending money on myself, because even most of my fun spending is on spending time with other people. So, yeah, that I don't really know how to reconcile that, but maybe I can talk about it when I get a new therapist. And then, how can I align my financial decisions more closely with the person I'm becoming and the life I'm creating? I'm putting more money towards yoga, which health and wellness is something that I want to be more part of my life going forward. And I'm very excited to put money towards that now. And then, looking ahead, what am I excited to prioritize to spend or save for in the coming month? And I'm very excited to spend money during my trip to the Smoky Mountains, and I'm very excited to save a really large sum of money for my emergency fund, which I will do in a moment. And then, how can I better support my future self? And again, it's just using my money to build up a stable financial future, which I'm doing by saving my emergency fund and saving towards my future expenses that I know will be happening. So I'm just feeling very good about my money in the month of April. And then, before we budget for May, I wanted to update you guys because I got my official job offer for my first nursing job. So I will be making $37.95 per hour once I start, and I will be getting my normal 10% night shift differential, and I will be getting paid an extra $2 whenever I work weekends, which I'm feeling quite good about. I was only expecting to receive about $35 an hour, so of course, more money is better than less money, and then this was a shock to me, but I am also receiving a $20,000 sign on bonus, which again I was completely not expecting at all, and that will be paid out over the course of 18 months. So I'm feeling very grateful, and I'm highly looking forward to budgeting my new grad registered nurse money in the near future. But I have to focus on the now, and I have $5,847.75 to budget. So, because I graduated, I have received a lot of cash gifts. So, first, this week, I received $445.78 from my doctor's office job and $101.97 from my nursing school job. And then I received $100 from my boss at the doctor's office. My brother gave me $200 cash for my graduation, and then my parents gave me a humongous $5,000 as my graduation gift, which I was also not expecting. My brother did receive the same gift for his graduation, and I guess I completely forgot that I would be getting this money, that I would be getting a large windfall for graduating from college. And words cannot describe how grateful I feel for the financial privilege that my parents have given me. And honestly, guys, I sometimes feel guilty about it, but whenever I talk to my partner about this, he consoles me by saying that at least I acknowledge how much of a privilege that the money I receive is, and that I am very prudent with how I handle it, and like I shouldn't feel bad because, but it just still feels weird to say that I am just lucky enough to receive $5,000 from my parents, you know? So this year what I've decided to do with any extra income outside of my paychecks is to put it towards my emergency fund. So with the $5,300 I have received as a graduation gift, I am going to go to my savings and put $5,300 towards my emergency fund. So I'm currently at $7,350, which is absolutely incredible, and I'm feeling so grateful to be in the position that I'm in. It's just insane to see that much money that I can put towards my emergency fund. Yeah, I'm just feeling so grateful right now. Like, I feel like I'm about to cry, so let's hurry this thing on up. Oh, and with the $400 that I was saving for the rental car, I actually moved it to my apartment fund, so I have already saved $400 for that fund as well. So it's definitely going to be a high savings month. So I am a month ahead on my expenses, so we are going to use the rest of the money that I have to budget to start funding the month of June. So I'm going to click on my bills, and we're going to first start off with funding the bills that come out first. So my normal giving comes out on the first of the month, and that is $152.21. iCloud comes out on the 19th, which is $2.99 like I said before, and my gym membership is $14.99, so we are just going to fund those. And then with the $377.56 I have left, I'm going to put $375 towards that, and then with the leftover $2.56, I'm going to move back on over to May and put it towards my wish to get the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. So this was definitely the most eventful financial reset yet, and I am just feeling so excited and grateful to be in the financial position that I'm in, and I'm really trying to take advantage of it as much as possible. So this video was a long one, so thank you for watching this video all the way through. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.